The lesson outcome for this video is use intercepts to graph linear equations. Before we graph linear equations using intercepts, we first must understand what intercepts are. First of all, an x-intercept, located here on my graph, an x-intercept is the x-coordinate of a point where the graph crosses the x-axis. Again, right here, this is the x-axis. We see the x there sometimes on our graphs. The x-axis is right here, so the x-coordinate of this point where it crosses the x-axis is called the x-intercept. So naming this point as a coordinate pair would be -3, 0. Again, we've gone left 3 from the origin. Here's the origin right here. Okay, we've gone 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3, and up or down 0, so -3, 0. So an x-intercept will always have a y-coordinate of 0. The y-intercept on this graph, again, is the y-coordinate of a point where the graph crosses the y-axis. So here's our y-axis, and where it crosses the y-axis is right here. And so we need to know the y-coordinate of that point. And if we start at the origin again and we move up, we moved up 5, 6, 7, 8. So this point right here is 0, 8. Okay, 0, 8. It's not a very good 8. Let's try and fix this a little bit. So 0, 8, because we moved from the origin, we moved left or right 0 this time, and we moved up 8. So again, a y-intercept will always have a y-coordinate that we know, and the x-coordinate will always be 0. Okay, so let's take a look at how our x and y intercepts can help us graph a line. Recently, we learned how to graph linear equations by using a table. This is actually very similar to that process in that we are going to use a table with x-coordinates and y-coordinates. The only difference is that we're only going to find 2 points for our table, so I always call it the teeny tiny table, because we're only going to use 2 points, 2 x values and y values in this. So let me show you what I mean. We just learned on the previous page that somewhere along this x-axis right here is our x-intercept. Okay, well, we want to find that x-intercept. What did we learn on the previous page? We learned that an x-intercept is when y is 0. So we're going to go ahead and put a 0 in for y. If we put a 0 in for y, we will find the corresponding, here's y right here, if we put a 0 in for y, we'll find the corresponding x value that will go right here, and that will be our x-intercept. So to do that work, we're going to go ahead and take our original equation, 3x minus 4y equals 12. Sorry about my x right there. And we're going to put a 0 in for y. Okay, so we're going to have 3x minus 4, and the y value is 0, equals 12. Now to simplify, this ends up being pretty easy because when we put zeros in, it produces a pretty simple math problem, meaning right here 4 times 0. Well, anything times 0 is 0. So now what we have is 3x minus 0 equals 12. Now we didn't have to put that minus 0 in here. I just wanted to show you that that's what it becomes. So minus 4 times 0, which is 0. So we didn't need to put this part in here. If you don't want to put this part in here next time, when you do these, that's fine. We don't need to put that in there. Minus 0 doesn't do anything. So now at this point, to solve this, we're just going to divide both sides by 3. So if I divide by 3 here, and I divide the other side of the equation by 3, using our solving steps, we find out that 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 1x equals 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So our x value is 4 when our y value is 0. So now we go ahead and plot that point on our graph, 4, 0. So from the origin, from right here, right, we're going to move right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up or down 0. So right there is going to be our point. So now I'll go through and I'll put that, try to put that point on there. Sometimes it doesn't go where I want it to. Right there. There's our x-intercept. All right, now we're going to go through and we're going to find our y-intercept. And if you remember, our y-intercept is when the x value is 0. Our y-intercept, again on this y-axis somewhere, is when your x value, here's x, right? Your x value is 0. I'm not moving left or right, I'm staying on that axis, so that's what is going to happen. So we're going to take again the same equation from the very beginning. We're coming back up to this equation, 3x minus 4y equals 12. And we're going to solve this now when x is 0. When x is 0 this time. So we'll put the 3 down. Now we're going to multiply this by 0 minus 4y equals 12. 3 times 0 is 0. Now you got to be careful with this a little bit. So this is 0 minus 4y equals 12. And again, we don't necessarily need that 0, but if you put that in on this one, you're going to make less mistakes, because take a look at what happens here. This becomes 0. If we just didn't write this at all, we might miss this negative sign right here. This minus sign needs to come down. Okay? Be careful for that. So 0 doesn't matter here. We're not going to add or subtract 0 from either side. So now we're just going to go ahead and divide both sides by -4. And we're going to find out -4 divided by -4 is 1. So we get y equals 12 divided by -4. Positive divided by negative is negative. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. So our y value is -3. We're going to go ahead and put this on our graph. So at 0, -3. So from the origin we go left or right 0, and then we go down 3. So there's our point. Now this teeny tiny table is really all we needed here to be able to draw our line, because now at this point we can draw a line. Let me find my black here. We can draw a line through these 2 points. See if I can get that to go the way I want it to here. And there's our graph. Let me just do that part again. That was a little messy. So let's just go ahead and say, all right, we have these 2 points. We know both of them are on the line, so we can go ahead and draw a line that goes through those 2 points. And there it is. Okay, I'm going to have you try this one on your own, but I'm just going to help you out, just give you a little setup here. So remember, what we want to do to graph this is we want to use the teeny tiny table of x and y values, just like we did with graphing, but we want to find the x-intercept and we want to find the y-intercept to do so, because they're really simple points to find because of the fact that they have a 0 that we're going to input. Okay, so go ahead, find the x-intercept, find the y-intercept, put it in your teeny tiny table, plot the points, and draw the line, and then check back to see how you did. Okay, so let's take a look. First of all, to find our x-intercept, we need a 0 in for y. 0 in for y. All right, so we're going to write 4x plus 8 times the y value of 0 equals 24. We know that 8 times 0 is 0, so what we'd be left with is 4x plus 0 equals 24. And then we have to divide both sides by 4, and x equals 24 divided by 4, which is 6. So 6 is our x-intercept. Now what I recommend all the time is after you find one of these 2 points in this table right here, after you find one of them, so 6, 0, go ahead and plot that one right away so that you don't forget later, and I'll show you what I mean. So 6, 0. 6 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis is right about there. Okay? And now we're going to go and we're going to find our y-intercept. And to find our y-intercept, we're going to use a 0 for x, and we're going to solve for y. So we again start with the original equation, 4x plus 8y equals 24. We're going to put a 0 in for x this time, so 4 times the x value, which is 0, plus 8y equals 24. Again, 4 times 0 is 0 right there. We don't need that there. We can erase that. We don't technically need to write the 0, but we do have then positive 8y equals 24. And I bring that down just to make sure I'm careful every time. So positive 8y equals 24, we're going to divide by positive 8. So we're going to divide by 8, and we're going to say 8 divided by 8 is 1. So we've got y equals 24 divided by 8, which is 3. Our y value is 3, so we're going to plot the point 0, 3. So 0 left or right on the x-axis and 3 up on our y-axis, which will be right about there. Now we can draw our line, and again the line is the one that goes through both of these points. Whoa, it's kind of thick. Keep changing the thickness of my pen. So there would be the line because it goes through this y-intercept right here, and it goes through this x-intercept right here. And again, through these 2 points, there's only one line that exists, and that's the line right there.